Nikukaribisha katika channel ya Mama Physics. Ndani ya channel ya Mama Physics tutakutana na mada za theory na practicals, lakini pia na mada za ualimu. Ndani ya theory na practicals, leo tupo katika theory. Katika topic ya static electricity ama electrostatics. What is the static electricity? This is the study of charges at rest. The study of charges at rest or an isolated charges. So an isolated charges, by definition, these are charges are charges which cannot be altered by any other field. So in this topic we shall discuss about the Coulomb's law, electric field, electric potential, and capacitance. So before Coulomb's law, which is the first part in electrostatics, let me discuss what about the charges. Nafikiri kule form 2 tulijifunza juu ya charges, production of charges. So tuangalie kwa ufupi tu juu ya charges. Sources of these charges mainly tulisema kwamba from atoms. Sources of charges hapa tunakumbuka vizuri tulisema from atom. Atom tulisema kwamba at the center of an atom it consists of proton and neutron, whereby electrons are revolving around the nucleus. This is the nucleus of an atom. The nucleus of an atom. So atom consists of proton and neutrons, while at the center, while electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Tuliambiwa kwamba electron na proton are equal in number. Electron are negative charged particle, while proton are positively charged particle, whereby neutron are neutral in nature. So since proton and electron and proton are equal in number and they are opposite charges, they can neutralize each other. So then leaves an atom as an electrically neutral. So an atom in nature an atom is electrically neutral since it consists of equal number of protons and neutrons, whereby electrons are positively charged and whereby protons are positively charged particle, while electrons are negatively charged particle. Production of these charges. Kule tulijifunza pia form 2 hiyo, na nakumbusha form 2 tulijifunza pia how to produce charges. Tunasema kuna method mbili za produce charge, either by rubbing or induction method. But mainly tumesema charge, production of charge sio maana yake unatengeneza charge. It is just transferring of charge from one point to another, or from one atom to another. So how these charges can be produced? Tumesema kwamba kiangalia mchoro wetu na kwamba electrons are always revolving around the nucleus, while proton and neutrons are bound at the nucleus due to the strong attractive forces. So since electrons are free to move, whenever you apply a small amount of energy, they can be transferred from this point to another point, from this atom to another atom. So once the electron have been transferred from one point, from one atom to another atom, means that this is the former atom could have the deficit of electrons, means could have many number of positive charges rather than negative charges. So in this case, we can say that an atom is positively charged. While electrons have been transferred from this point to another point, or from one atom to another atom, the later atom would have an excess number of electrons greater than protons. So in that sense, you can say that an atom is negatively charged. So that it is how to produce a charge. Tunasema charge, production of charges, sio kwamba tunatengeneza charge, but they are just transferring of charge from one point to another. Hiki ni choreje mfano wake, I don't know. Kwamba huyu hapa alikuwa na electron wake amemwamishia mwenzake. Electron amekwenda huko. This is former atom. This is later atom. Tunasema kwamba production of charge is that just transferring of charge from one point to another. Kwamba tunasema kwamba electrons are free to move. Always are revolving around the nucleus, are weakly bound on its orbit. So, since they are weakly bound to its orbit, it is easy to remove the electron from one point to another. Whenever you apply a small energy. So, once you apply energy to remove an electron from the outermost shell, from one point to another point, this atom shall have a deficit of electrons. So it means that it has many number of holes or protons rather than electrons. In this sense, we can say that this atom is positively charged. So the later atom, which is an acceptor atom will have an excess number of electrons rather than protons. So in this case, we can say that this atom is positively charged atom. So that is how to produce charges. How to produce charges. Tulisema kwamba kuna method mbili za produce hizo charge, whether by induction method or by rubbing method. So what is charge? By definition, a charge is a particle. A charge is a particle which is produced as a result of transfer of electrons from one atom to another. So the SI unit of charge is coulomb. Coulomb, which is abbreviated as a capital letter C. From the definition here or explanation of the sources of charges, so we can see here we have mainly two types of charges. That is positive charges and negative charges. negative charge and the positive charge. A negative charge, this is an electron in nature, while a positive charge, it is a proton in nature. Law of charge. The fundamental law of charge is that the like charge repel and like charge attract. Like charge repel and like charge attract. It is a fundamental law of charging. Properties of charges. We have two properties. One, there is a conservation of all charges and the quantization of charges. Conservation of charges and quantization of charges. Starting with the conservation of charges. In this case, the total charges in any charged bodies in any charged body before motion is equal to the total charge after the body have been rotated at any speed. In this case, we can say that the total charges in any charged body before motion equals to the total charge after the body has been rotated. Has been rotated at any speed. Kwa maana tulisema kwamba production of charge is just to transferring of charge from one atom to another. Kwamba tuliona kwamba kama atom moja anapoteza electron, maana yake anabakia na equal number of protons. Maana yake charge before could be equal to the charge after, the quantization of charge. total charges before chemical reaction. Total charges before chemical reaction equals to the total charges after chemical reaction. So total charges before chemical reaction equals to the total charges after chemical reaction. For example, we have an element X. Before it has an atomic number A, mass number A and the atomic number Z. After chemical reaction, we had two particles, Y and H, helium, for example. So in case of A, it must have A can lose 4 and the Z here. So the chemical reaction, if we take this one, the summation of this one at the top is equal to the before, and the summation of this one at the bottom is equal to Z. So equal number of charges before and after the chemical reaction. In case of quantization of charges, tunasema kwamba charge can never exist as a single number. So can always exist as a multiple of whole numbers. Charges are always exist in a multiple of whole numbers. So these are the two properties of charges. So in case of quantization of charge, here we have, suppose we have charge Q is given, always given in this way. Charge Q always given in an integral multiple of whole numbers. Q, as we know that this is the total charge. E is a charge, whether it is an electronic charge or protonic charge. This is the number, either number of electrons or number of protons. Total charge. Any, this is the number of electrons or protons. E so that E can be given as plus or minus 1.60 times 10 power negative 19 coulombs. For example, example, find the number of excess charge. Find the number of excess charge on a charged sphere. On a charged sphere having 60.0 times 10 per negative 7 coulomb. Solution. So here we have a charge. We have charge E. Since it is positive, means that it is electron, it is a proton charge. So here, from Q is equal to NE. From Q is equal to NE. So then, we are looking for N. N could be equal to Q over E, which means is equal to this is the total charge. Sorry, it is the total charge you have given. The charge is here, the charge is this one, which is the total charge. We are looking for number of excess charge. Number of excess charge multiplied by the electronic charge could be the total charge. So then 60.0 times 10 per negative 7 dividing by electronic charge. Here we have 1.60 times 10 per negative 19. First we have N is equal to 3.75 times 10 per 12 would be the number of excess charge. Okay, thank you for watching. Until next time, see you.